Have you ever faced a frustrating error while coding, only to feel stuck and confused? If that's you, then you're in the right place. Today, we're diving into a common Java exception: cannot cast to java.lang.Comparable. I understand how annoying it is when your code compiles perfectly, but then throws an exception at runtime. You're definitely not alone in this struggle. Many developers encounter this issue, and it can be quite perplexing. Here's the specific situation we're looking at. One user recently shared their code for printing the top view of a binary tree. They mentioned that while the code compiles fine, they encounter a class cast exception at runtime. Sound familiar? Let's explore this together. So what could be causing this class cast exception? This error typically occurs when you try to cast an object to a class of which it is not an instance. In this case, it seems to be related to the pair class used in the code. And don't go anywhere. I've got a crucial tip at the end that will help you avoid this error in the future. To address the class cast exception, the user should first understand that the issue arises because the pair class does not implement the comparable interface. This is necessary for the priority queue to function correctly. Next, the user can modify the pair class to implement the comparable interface. This will allow the pair objects to be compared based on their horizontal distance, which is essential for the priority queue to work properly. After implementing comparable, the user should ensure that the second element of the pair, which represents the horizontal distance, is of a type that is comparable. This will prevent any further class cast exceptions. Finally, the user should recompile the code and run it again. This time, the exception should be resolved, and the top view of the binary tree should print correctly. Did you know? The first version of Java was released in 1995, and it has evolved significantly since then. But even with all the advancements, exceptions like this still trip up developers today. Now, let's look at the answers provided by other users. An alternative solution suggests modifying the pair class to implement comparable. This means that both elements of the pair must also be comparable. The user recommends comparing the first element first, and if they are equal, then comparing the second element. Now, let's shift our focus to a different response. One user points out that the issue arises because you're trying to instantiate a queue directly, which is an interface. They suggest that you might have meant to use a priority queue instead. However, they question whether you actually need a priority queue at all. A simple linked list could work just as well for your algorithm. Additionally, they provide an update showing that using a linked list produces the correct output for the top view of the binary tree, which includes the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and 9. Here's the crucial tip I promised. Always ensure your custom classes implement the comparable interface if you plan to use them in collections that require ordering. This simple step can save you a lot of headaches. And there you have it. By making these adjustments, you should be able to resolve the class cast exception and get your binary tree top view printed successfully. If you found this helpful, hit the subscribe button for more coding tips. And don't miss our next video on debugging techniques.